Welcome to Multiversial, a show where a judge introduces a world that is just like ours, but with one key difference to our two master debaters to argue if it's plausible and how. It's like telling people not to talk about Fight Club. I'm Deacon, I'm your judge today, and allow me to introduce our wonderful debaters, the ever lovely Jen and Leia.
Hi.
Why?
Here, we're ready. We're excited.
All right, so what like awful topic do we have to discuss tonight? Because
What
usually you
horrible
give us some
place.
Black Mirror shit.
Well, I don't know. Deacons are usually up or down, but because last week's he thought he was going pretty wholesome, I feel like this week it's going to be terrible.
Oh, he's the upper and downers of podcasts.
Oh, great. Okay, well, let me introduce you to a universe where we, as people, have created the ability to transition into anthropomorphic animals.
Deal.
a fursona, if you will.
All right. Hold up. Do you mean like I'm turning into a literal cat, or I'm turning into a cat girl?
No, anthropomorphic animal. So
Yeah.
cat girl.
Your
like
actual
fur.
fursona.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm. I was pretty sure it's what anthropomorphic meant, but I just wanted to confirm I
Yes.
understood it correctly.
Society's not ready for this brave transition, but I sure as fuck am. Press the button a million times.
Hang on. So I have a couple things of clarification.
Mm-hmm.
You have complete control over what form you take, including the body type, like the animal that you take,
what is the
etc.
downside?
Like,
What's the monkey's paw?
however, if you take the transition, you have to move to a separate society because for some reason the non-furry people don't like the furries for whatever reason.
You are literally describing that new anime, BNA.
This new society creates its own government, economy, police force, etc. And the infrastructure is there and is in place for like bigger animals to have bigger
All right,
homes,
well, I
and
already hate
smaller
this.
animals to have smaller homes.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, a bunny named Judy Hopps becomes a cop.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, can we say that one? I don't think we're allowed to say that one.
I don't know. I don't think we're big enough where Disney's
Look,
gonna notice. I think
you know
we're
what?
okay.
We'll keep the original
I'll take
files.
the heat for it.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, so this is my scenario that I am presenting to you.
Awful.
Here you go.
No, like immediately. Like war.
No.
Immediately.
No.
Yes.
No.
You're telling me you would be fine being sent off. You wouldn't be like, no, this is stupid. I deserve the rest of the planet like everyone else. We all deserve to live normally here.
I mean, this coming from... I'm the worst person to ask. I literally want to move to the woods where I can be a cottagecore haunted house lesbian.
No, but here's the thing. You are choosing voluntarily to want to do that. You're not being told you have to do this and go live in this bubble of society.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
I mean,
And also,
then we-
why
I
they
would
pick-
also want to get... If somebody is so bad, like, listen, I already want to do that, and if I could be a furry, I would
Leia.
100%.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? We kind of already did this. It's called Australia, and you hate everything there.
Yeah, but then I'd be a cute fox girl in the other
There
one.
would still be spiders hiding in your shoes.
But who's to say we'd go to Australia?
No, they would send them to the worst place. They wouldn't be like, this is a nice plot of land where they'll live peacefully.
And you know what?
Well-
Like, I guarantee you everyone there is going to be fucking queer, and it's going to be a paradise after a while because we make everything better.
Yes,
I
we'd
was
make
literally going to
everything
say
okay. We'd make everything
like-
better by going to war on the non-furries and taking what they took from us. Like, that would be it.
Okay, well, look, okay, so on one hand, I'm on Leia's side because, you know, we could create like socialist utopia. It would be great. And then on the other hand, I mean, what's stopping somebody who was like a rhino person from just running down normal fleshy humans?
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point, right? At first, it'd be all right, because we'd be like, all right, fine, we're the society. There's not enough of us to really fight back, so let's try and make this work. Then our numbers would grow. Because obviously I'd be Team Furry. I'm gonna be honest, I would be Team Furry, but our numbers would grow.
Absolutely.
We'd realize that they're not helping us at all, right? They're just kind of sending us over here. Good luck. We don't care anymore. Like, we'd get no aid. We'd have to fend for ourselves, build up, and then we'd realize, wow, we've been given this crappy, tiny little place. Because, let's be real, they ain't sharing their land. They're gonna pick the tiniest little island to send us on. Where there's crap resources that they don't want. Otherwise, they'd be attacking us for those resources. That's how this works, right? So eventually, there would be war.
So, I'm gonna just stop you there. You always pose the what if that's totally feasible and would happen regardless. So, like, that could happen tomorrow, not even with the furry shit. Just, like, people going like, oh, you know what? We don't like this demographic of people. We're just gonna war with them. At least we'd be f***ing furries.
I would absolutely be a dragon boy.
I know you. I would be a fox girl.
You're telling me, with how much you hate hair, you want it now everywhere if it means you look like a fox.
Okay, that's different. That's not hair. That's fur.
Alright.
And I have soft skin thanks to the estrogen, so I just want soft fur too.
Oh my god, could you imagine all the relationship fighting, right? Could you imagine, like, you're dating someone, you want to marry this person, but then, well, I guess, alright, let's do it the other way around, right? Like, I guess it doesn't matter, but, like, you're with someone, and one of them is like, I want to do this thing and become a furry, and the other one's like, well, I don't. But they do it anyway because they love this person and want to be with them, and then later just regret follows when, you know, the relationship falls apart. Now they're stuck as a furry they didn't even want to be.
You mean like how people, like, you know, switch religions to be with someone and do exactly that?
You mean how somebody makes a really, really poor decision that is not you?
Okay, you all think
I'm
you all think I'm arguing a point. I'm just saying, can you imagine this thing happening?
Hey,
here's a
sweetie,
thing that would happen.
Is your dad the devil? Is your dad the devil?
We are literally on a podcast about arguing. You can't make this joke.
Yes, I can, because you're sure advocating for him. Just saying. We're on a podcast about arguing. Yeah, no, and you know what? I will argue until my dying breath if I got body autonomy and I get to be a cute furry.
But you'd be shoved into an island where you have to start from nothing. That's the part I'm talking about, right? It's not that you're choosing to isolate yourself. That is a completely different scenario. You're being kicked out and forced to live in a place. What if the community, like,
for real, that sounds like exactly how it would go down. Once you mentioned furries, I was like, what's the catch is going to be, but people don't accept it. I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm gay, so same energy.
Yeah, it was always literally going to be, you get this cool thing, but then you also get kicked out of, like, air quotes, normie society.
I mean, it would make so many jobs way easier. I think we'd progress at a faster rate.
The furries?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
yes.
don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, right?
Imagine.
This whole
No, we want a dam, right? Get the beaver people.
Okay, so here's the thing though, right? You're all imagining that all the furries are awesome people.
Yeah.
There's a certain subsect of furries I don't really want to bring up
that
exists that you would still...
I know what furries she's talking about. I'm like, yeah, they suck.
I do too. And yes, you're correct in that, like, there is a subsection of furries that isn't the greatest.
That being said, also, why are you arguing? You're the judge. Get out of here for a minute. So here's the thing though, right? Like, okay, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, you do have a point that, like, honestly speaking, you'd probably mostly have the youth doing this. So in that regard, like, yes, we'd probably definitely have a lot better...
Oh my god, the cringe culture of this, right? I've met young adults today, and I'm like, memes aren't a substitute for a personality, kid. Come on.
They're also our audience. Not that you're wrong, but give them some props. I love the fake Subway commercial.
Yeah, with the Pop Cat.
Yeah,
Love Pop Cat. Think about it. You could be Pop Cat, but in real life.
So, but now here's the thing, and I'm agreeing with you. It's like, listen, you're right that a lot of youths would want to do this, so we'd probably definitely have, like, we'd probably have healthcare. Like, I can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely already like furries that are in like, you know, medical fields and things like that. I watch one of them on Twitch.
That's
Like,
amazing.
I mean,
want that doctor. Can I have that doctor?
he does a thing like every week where he does like a teaching thing and he like talks about like processes and how things work, and then he plays a game afterwards, and it's great.
oh yeah, like a lot of people are furries, so I'm not
but-
surprised by that.
But yeah, I mean, yes, you would have the bad subsection of furries that also took, but they would also be absolutely like ostracized immediately from furries at large.
I hope so, but I don't know, because like we might need them as a functioning society at first. And again, I'm not arguing. Like, here's the thing: I'm bringing up points because my argument there isn't, well, there'd be bad furries, so this is dumb. I'm just saying, your argument is it'd be a utopia, and I'm dismantling why it wouldn't be a utopia. Like, there would absolutely still be problems because we were all once human beings, and just human beings cause drama and problems.
I mean, true. I was just saying because like I said, a lot of it would be. I mean, a lot of the people who are
No, I think it would be a
furries, at the
utopia
very
just for
least,
one aspect.
are on that like left leaning sides.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said,
Probably
like,
be a lot
we'd
more
probably
socialist.
we'd at least have healthcare.
Yeah. I will bring up the utopia point again.
A zootopia, if you will.
A zootopia, if you will. I think it would reach that because I've seen how horny furries can get.
Oh
I
my
think the
God.
sex would be incredible. That's like an upscale on that.
So, counterpoint: how many of us are actually taught adult things that we would now have to forcibly learn? Because I don't know, how far away is this where we even have Wi-Fi, right? So we'd have to start figuring out how we give ourselves Wi-Fi and connect to the internet
We
off
would
on our own
absolutely
little
have to figure
freaking...
out Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, like, I have concerns with things
Ooh.
like...
Oh, so we get nothing. We don't even get like basic
We would have to
infrastructure.
start. We would
Yeah,
have to
we're
start from
thrown on
scratch.
an
We'd have to-
island.
Oh, that sounds exactly what
figure
some
it out,
governments
yeah.
would do.
So that's where my fear comes in, where I'm like, you know, they would pick, like, the absolute worst, like, there's at least water, bare minimum place to shove us, right?
I mean, it's fine because I mean, eventually, like some Spectrum like internet installer is gonna be like, you know what, and they're gonna take the transition, then we'll have internet. It'll be
Oh, no. You know,
And real talk.
you know how many...
Actually, the more basic, like, go back to the roots of our civilization, the more I'm vibing with that
Oh my
as
God.
somebody who is so tired.
I mean, that's fair. I
yeah,
can't
like,
argue
the
that.
more I think about it, like, yeah, I would just straight up do it. Go live on, like, a beach area or an
Rent, no
island, and then...
utilities. I mean, except not
Like-
having a bathroom would suck, though.
Well, you're a furry. Go out in the fucking woods at that point.
So again, we know the youth would mostly be doing this, and a lot of us these days, like, are so about monetizing everything. Do you think we would become a giant amusement park if it got people to spend their money coming to our little paradise?
Okay, are we being real?
I'm being serious.
Are
yeah.
we being real? So I guarantee
Absolutely.
you there will be a subsect of humans who are like, you know what? I want to go there and fuck one
Oh
of them.
God.
And they're not a furry,
Oh, God,
and then they
wait.
realize.
Wait, would you be able to have, like, halfling babies? Is that a thing?
No.
So it's not like it doesn't go into your, like, genetics, basically. So do you
Yeah,
have
like,
human babies? So what happens if you get preggers over there? We have a half human, half furry society?
I would say that it would there would be like you wouldn't be able to, like, a human couldn't get like pregnant with a furry. Like there would be like the genetics wouldn't match up. It would have to be furries having children or humans having children.
But now the furries would have furry children.
Yes.
Okay, so there wouldn't be able to be any interspecies.
Oh,
Yes.
we'd have a bat fox child. That'd be adorable.
Maybe. Have concerns.
They have wings.
I
and
would
feathers
say
and a
that, like-
fluffy little foxtail.
Because I mean, I could see like there being like, you know, like in furries, like different like furry types. Like
We would be
What was I
creating
saying?
new
Together.
species of animals.
Wait, hold on.
Brilliant.
So if I had a kid and you know there's this half fox bat thing, what if they didn't like that? Could they change into another animal? Does it work that way, or are they stuck with what they were born as because they're already a?
Okay, I want Deacon to really think about that answer to the transgender person here. Just a thought. about thinking about that answer right now on our fictional podcast about how we should proceed with that information. Okay, sweetie?
I have already thought about this, and I
Good.
figured this would come up, and I had an answer for you already prepared. If we had the ability to transition into furries to begin with, there would obviously be a way to reverse that if you wanted to.
See, and I was actually going to bring up, this would bring up a whole market
I was
of
thinking
jobs.
if a child was like, well, I don't want to be a furry, and they were able to, like, they would be able to transition into being a human. It would mean leaving the other society behind, but they would have the ability to do that. Or
Wait.
I also, like, yes, there would be ways to, like, switch between, like, species. So
Hold
if you
on.
just wanted a singular species instead of, like,
So
two
we-
or whatever.
We get kicked out because we choose to be furries, and we choose to kick people out when they become humans? That seems like a dick move.
Well, I was just assuming more of it would be the humans being like, no, there's a human there, they can't stay, and then, like, taking them back. If that makes sense.
I don't know, because...
Something that's not our choice.
Listen, I'm just saying the pro-life movement doesn't seem to do much outside of yelling about unborn fetuses, so I don't think we'd have to worry about that.
All right, so I'm going to throw some more fire on that. Gasoline on that fire. Are you ready for this? Foster care. That's a problem already, so let's just assume that they're not going to do that. And then you may go, well, no, for the betterment of mankind. I'm like, well, we're talking about people who, and this would be the funny thing is you'd get the libertarians who would be like, well, it's everybody's personal thing. We shouldn't have a government doing anything. But there'd be a lot of them going, fuck them furries, and then get them out of here.
But I mean, a lot of things and like furry stuff as is like, there are times where people are like, well, I like my fursona like it is, but I want to spend a little bit of time as like a kangaroo now or whatever. So there would absolutely be some way to, like, change your species if you wanted to.
We would have the ability to basically shapeshift.
Yes.
All right, I have the real question. That is, would the job be a groomer or a hair salonist?
It would absolutely be a groomer. It would
Yeah.
have to be.
It'd have to be groomer. We'd have to we'd have to take that and
because there would be like a whole. It would be.
oh my god. I could just,
There would
how
be a
like some
whole
days
lot
I'm
of-
like, hey, can you rub my back? It'd be like, hey, can you brush me, sweetie? Can you brush me? I'm getting a little knotted.
It would literally be like a situation where, like, there would be a ton of different anatomies that people would have to learn in order to
would
like
straight
groom
up
Vets.
someone.
want to go to the beach.
Yeah.
At that point, I would want to go to the beach. I feel like that would be lively.
So vets or doctors?
It would be vets.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you would have more of the like
Ooh, zoologist.
animal physiology.
Be a
too.
zoologist.
But yeah, I just, like I said, and going back to one of the things that like you guys were talking about is that I do genuinely feel that like the furry society, while it would start off very small and rudimentary, would probably, like Leia was saying, grow very rapidly and
Hey, what would
progress
grow
very rapidly.
polyamory.
Again, my main concern is, like, I don't know much about, Gen Z and everything coming after, but as a millennial, I wasn't taught any important skills growing up. So I just worry about us all being flopped on an island being like, how do we do this? And oh no,
So just
we can't
bring books with you at that
we can't
point,
YouTube
right?
it because we don't have, Wi-Fi or anything built yet. So that'd be my general concern.
The
But,
one
I
that
mean,
comes
but-
after Gen Z is Gen Alpha.
But
That just
I was gonna say
sounds-
that
That sounds real weird.
I But I was gonna say that there would be people like, I mean, because there are still like there are boomers who are furries, you know. So, I mean, there would
I
definitely be some people.
I think you would have businesses being like, "That's an untapped
So,
market. Let's
the thing
go
about
do this."
boomers, right, is I don't think a lot of boomers would do it, just the sole fact of, like, they have families. So if the families are like, no, we like being human, they'd be basically being forced to leave their family in their golden years or whatever they're up to. Like, so
Oh,
that's
so
where
a boomer would do something selfish
No,
against
if
their
anything, this would
against their
be
whole family.
I'm saying they wouldn't become a furry. They would stay with their family.
No, I highly disagree with that.
You don't think that?
No, I think most of them would just be like, "Fuck off," and just do whatever they want.
Well, I mean, because like, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but the guy who did the like,
Yeah, a lot of individualistic thinking amongst that generation.
but the guy who did the like back in the 90s, the like the rats kissing or whatever that was sold on that like art program on TV.
Sorry,
No,
rats
what?
kissing what?
Yes, so there was like it's an old like video thing, but it was like a late night like art gallery thing where they would sell like art that people made locally.
Oh, okay.
And it was this guy
Oh,
who was
that
like making
thing.
like
Yeah, I just googled it. I
rats and
remember
stuff.
John Oliver on Last Week Tonight showed it,
Yes,
and I was like, "What the fuck?"
that guy is a boomer.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
I'm.
here's the thing, I'm
He's
not.
like he would absolutely 100%.
No,
Like,
yeah,
we would have people in that like generation that are still doing like that would,
no,
that
that's
would
fine.
probably take the transition.
I didn't say they wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't think it'd be as many as you'd think. And what if it's boomers who, like, yeah, they were just a painter. They still don't know how to build roadways or Wi-Fi towers.
Man, the
Like-
art of this community would be just
Oh, it'd be insane.
buck
Yeah,
wild.
and that's again my concern is we'd get a bunch of people who like they're artists and they're so creative.
No,
and
no,
great,
and here's
but-
my concern. Here's my counter to that, right?
Yeah.
Big business will always try and tap into untapped markets. This would be an untapped market, so you'd have
they
people.
try and sell us.
You have people who would try and buy into that and sell and set
Not
up like
wrong.
a fucking island resort
We're,
nonsense.
we're gonna get a space hotel before healthcare. So.
We are going to get a space hotel in 2027 before we get single payer healthcare in the United States.
But
Ahem.
but yeah, like I said, I Bat is also not wrong that eventually they're going to be like. The reason that I bring it up is that I feel like society would progress pretty quickly. That we would get to a point where we hit like where we were before, and even push beyond it potentially, and then there would probably absolutely be a point where we're just like, hey, you know those people who stuck us on this island in the first place? Yeah, like fuck them though.
Yep.
And then you would have rhino people and bull people.
Especially, how much does it cost to even get
Ramming into
this
fleshy
furry
people.
change thing?
Well, if it's in America, it's probably going to cost thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Right. So what I'm hearing
But if it's
is
in Europe, they probably just let you do it for
I'd be
free.
stuck as a human, and then I'd die in the human furry war, even though I had no choice but to be stuck here because I couldn't afford it.
Why
So
does
it's just-
everything have to go to war with you two? You two are like the most like, but what about the war? What about the war? Can't you live in a world full of goddamn magic at some point
No,
in
it's
your life?
mostly me. I'm the one who brings up the war and the murders.
You are so small. How are you full of this much violence?
I'm more so full of defending
Skepticism.
myself from violence.
I'm gonna come over
be
there
fair.
right now and then just flick you in the nose, and then I'm gonna put my hand on your forehead and see if you can take me down.
Then you wonder why I think there's war and murder everywhere.
To be fair, I would be a dragon man. So if you don't think that I'm going to freeze someone to death with my breath, absolutely.
And I wonder what my special trait would be aside from being really, really into orgies. Yeah, no, gray foxes are very sexual creatures. Very pack-oriented.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like eventually there would hit a point where there would probably be some sort of war. So I'm giving Bat the credit.
Of course there's going to be wars within it. Like every freaking thing. I just learned about Attack on Titan, and I'm like, you think they would never fight with one another? Oh lord, they're fighting with one another. Hey, Star Wars, you think they would never fight with one another? No, they're fighting with one another. Hey, look, Cybertron and the Transformers. No, they're fighting with one another. Everybody does it. It's just a thing. War is stupid, but it's always an inevitability because people sometimes it always comes down to like, can people be reasoned with? Yeah, but guess what? There would be a war. You're 100% right. I would still be a cute furry, and I'd be okay with this and live out on my own if I had to.
No, I see. Here's the thing: you'd be a cute furry if we could afford it.
Oh, don't bring up.
I will say, look, I will say that because there is such a steep drawback to actually getting this transition thing, that I'm going to say that it would essentially be a free thing because I'm not going to pay $100,000 to be shipped off to an island.
Well, now here's the thing: I think at first it'd be free, but as they saw us getting more and more advanced over there, they'd be like, maybe we should charge for this.
Listen, if you told me tomorrow that I could do it for free, I'd do it like then. I am
Leia.
Absolutely
Leia.
Turning into an
I wouldn't
adorable
even-
furry
Leia.
with
Honestly,
fangs.
I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't even care if they told me that there had been zero testing on it.
Yeah, I
I'd
know,
be like,
right?
Let's do it.
Leia.
Let's do it.
You have no spleen, and there would definitely be no medicine over there in the beginning.
Again, you can make every logical goddamn argument in the fucking world right now, and it will all be overridden by my desire to have a tail.
Okay.
Okay,
But
and
look,
cute ears.
I did say that you had complete and total control over what you turned into.
Oh
and, like,
shit,
your
I get my
body type,
spleen back,
and
Oh my
bitches!
God.
You could regrow your spleen.
Odd.
You're just selling this. Listen, I could have a strong immune system. I'm doing it.
I mean, yeah, I guess I can't argue that if you got your spleen
I
back.
would have big boobies.
Yeah, it would be nice too. Get out of the draft.
Oh my god, yeah, 100%.
I was just thinking about that because Leia actually can't be drafted since she doesn't have a spleen. So I just thought about that, like, you'd still get out of the draft.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I think with that, I should ask you guys, do you think that this is a universe, first of all, that is feasible?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I'd see it in an anime.
If we put emphasis on like, I don't know the proper term, but like gene splicing and like
just like I think
you
the
know
field.
toying with
I
genetics.
think the field is just called genetics. Like,
Yeah, if we started like really tinkering with that, I feel like we could turn people into animal hybrids.
Yeah.
Like
I genuinely hope that there's a day where this happens.
I know, I'll be like 85 and they'll be like, "You want to do it?" And I'll be like, "Yep."
What year was
Yep.
Batman Beyond? Because they had it in Batman
It's like
Beyond.
2050 or something like that.
That's kind of
We'd still be alive. I'd do
We'd
it.
still be alive. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, having control over the form that you take and everything else, you could just
Become
you know,
younger.
make yourself younger.
Mm-hmm.
Woof.
Anyway.
Oh my god, that acts like some dystopian stuff. I love it. That's the way to do it. To stay immortal is you have to become a furry. And I'm like, you're just making this more and more and more appealing, everyone.
So I guess the other question to ask, and I already know Leia's answer, but would you live there? Would you live in this?
I mean, don't
universe?
make assumptions that are 100% accurate.
You've been talking about how you would absolutely live here since the beginning, Leia.
I mean, here's the thing. If
I know
Leia's
your
going,
answer.
I would go because I follow her anywhere, but
But you sure you wouldn't be making a bad decision?
wouldn't be happy about it at first. But you know what? If I
a
got to
bad
fly, I guess
decision,
that'd
if
be-
you will. God.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess this whole situation might drive you a little batty. But don't worry, you'd wing it. You got outfoxed.
Thanks to everyone for tuning into Multiversial and visiting this strange and dangerous world with us.
Special shout out to our sponsor tier Patreon, Nejikomu, and all of our paid subscribers for keeping us employed, making free content like this podcast.
And And big thanks to our Judge Deacon for picking out our topic today. And for all you listeners, be sure to check out fierceferrets.com for all the great stuff we make and links to all of our social media and Patreon to help support the show.
See you in another time in another furry world, strangers.